Pierre.
Welcome back to the early edition show of the Hockey National Show with our co-host, Coach French, directly for the Sunshine State. And we have to go all the way to California to find the co-host, Michael DeVillano.
Good morning, Pierre.
Good morning. Happy Monday for everybody. Hopefully an amazing, great weekend.
We have a quiet group so far. There's only a few people online here.
Yeah, too many people. They're on the front door.
Jeez.
So we have to go now with the testing. So they have to get, show their vaccination proof.
Yeah,
so
to jump on YouTube.
one by one. So take a little bit longer. But in fact, it's funny I said that, but it's a lot of complaining in Canada right now because of that situation for the going inside the building, like in Toronto, Montreal, everything like that. So they ask for all the players, not players, but the people show up earlier because the process to go in a little bit longer. So that's happening right now. That's the reason I said that to you, was like something people was complaining about that one over there. But we have Chase Simon back in the house this morning. We did not see Chase Simon all week or maybe a couple of days ago, where he need to check his team on the ESPN Fantasy Hockey National Show, where I completely destroy Yarmo. I know he's not here yet, but I'm proud to say that I completely destroy Yarmo. And a great competition between Adam and
Here
we go. Yarmo is there.
The Lord
is back in the house. He heard me from Finland, Michael. That's what happened about that. But great, a lot of good competition between a couple of people inside. We have 20 members of the Hockey National Show. Maybe about 12 to 14 went out to follow up very closely. So it was great to see that. So week number 1's behind us. So we have to move on to move to the week's number 2, and we'll see happening. And now I leave Yarmo. Another guy from Finland. We have more people around the world in Finland, Michael, to anybody else around
we're
here.
Like famous in Finland.
That's pretty good. So to see those people, thanks to everybody to part of the show this morning. I'm sure some other people, but the Monkey and Michael Rosenblatt between the class, they will show up at some point. They want to talk about the Florida Panthers, where they are maybe one of the hottest team in NHL since the beginning of the year. We're going to talk about them also. So that's what happened about that. Moro said it means also moi. Moi also hi. So that's what happened about Moro. Here we go.
We got the Finland connection going on here. We're going to have to learn some Finnish, Pierre. Well, just to recap on the weekend, on Saturday night, we had quite a few games, and there's 2 big stories. These guys are ex-teammates. Did you know that Sam Bennett and Conor McDavid used to be teammates?
Yeah, a young age, honestly. But I think for that game, you have a Finland players, a Canadian players right there, and Bennett also. But I think, on that picture, you saw a hat trick, but at the same time, 500 point of Jonathan Huberdeau in NHL during that game. So congratulations. The Captain Barkov continue to carry on that team. There was I think it was one of the biggest game of the week in NHL until Saturday. The game between the New York Islanders and the Florida Panthers. 2 teams going to be in the top 5 in NHL, I believe, at that moment. And they completely, I'll be honest with you, Islanders couldn't do anything. Really concerned about Islanders. Shara finished -4. Shara have a really bad night. And something's going on with that team, with Islanders. It's 2 bad game, 6-3 against Carolina, the opening. And they are, Michael, 13 games on the road.
Well, that is true, because they have a new arena, but it's not quite ready yet. So here we go again. They're going to have 13 games in a row. I don't know. They can't recover if they have a bad 13 games. They've got to figure this out. I don't know what's going on. It's not like them to have this streak. I would look for them in the next game. Their next game is probably a big one for them.
It's 11 goal, Michael, and 2 games for them. We know Varlamov is out at that moment. That's the one biggest, Sorokin, one of the best goaltender last season, proven in NHL last season what he can do. Sign a new contract of $4 million. I don't know. It's something that team is not yet ready to rock and roll. And it's normal. Sometimes it take about 5, 6 games, 7 games to find their, the way to come back where they're supposed to be. And it could. I'm not worried about the Islanders. I'm worried about the Montreal, but the Islanders, I'm not worried about
Montreal's
them.
having some
They have
trouble
too much debt inside that team, Michael. They have too much system, everything like that. I think they have to chemistry between players. And honestly, I'm not too much worried about that, but just a bad game, honestly. Again, the Islanders, again, the Panthers. So that's what happened about that.
But I mean, to have a 5-1 lopsided victory like that, that's not what we expect from the Islanders. Now, they did have a long playoff run. It looks like a lot of teams that have long playoff runs are kind of having a little bit of challenge.
The score, Michael, I watched the game, honestly, was live with here. So it was 23 shot until 14 until the beginning of the third period, Michael, for Islanders. So Islanders was really in. The shot was not. Popovsky have a big game, honestly, make the big save at the right time. Second day, I was said to you, Sorokin was, the third goal of Bennett, like a wrist shot of 35 feet from the net. Sorokin, I don't want to said Bennett don't deserve that goal, but usually a goaltender should stop that one. But Popovsky made the big save at the beginning of the game to keep the Islanders at 0 until the score. So, Sergei Popovsky is looking good for the first 2 games this season for the Florida Panthers. That's what they need. If the Florida Panthers want to go deep at some point, I would not be surprised he's going to be back Tuesday again, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the biggest game of the week for the big rivalities in NHL is going to be Tuesday night. That Islanders, the Florida Panthers visit the Tampa Bay Lightning, so it'll be interesting to follow them.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I mean, congratulations to Sam Bennett, by the way. We were talking about this. I think that in 13 games in the regular season with Florida, he's got like 9 or 10 goals. Is that right? He's got 12 goals.
I'm sorry again?
Well, it's kind of crazy because he had 3 goals. Yeah, I think he's 11 goals in 13 games or something, right?
He has played, I think he have like 20,
last year
21 game maybe now, and they have like about like 17 points with 10 goals, 7 assists, something like that.
I think it's even less games. That's what's crazy because he only played 10
games.
Plus
because he played game in the playoff, Michael.
Yeah, plus the playoffs. Yeah. But even the playoffs, he's a point a game in the playoffs. He has 15 points and 6 goals in 10 games. So that's 9 goals in 12 regular season games. And if you count the playoffs, it's 10 goals. Like, that's pretty crazy.
17 game, you have 10 goals in 17 game. You know what I mean? You have to give credit for what he accomplished so far.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Good morning to Kelly and Kimberly have both joined us.
And Frank is out from Cuba with a big cigar. And of course, is Panthers. So Frankie is still on the party since like Saturday night. Yeah, I don't know if he's still in the party this morning, but Frankie loved the Panthers. So thanks to have, we have a Cuban, we have Canadian,
I love it.
USA people, Finland people, and Velio, I'll be honest with you, with Yamo follow those guys, Michael. Follow the Hockey National show whenever we have a live stream at 10 o'clock, whatever they show up, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 7.
Yeah, they stay up all night.
Manberg does the same thing. So they follow their people from country from Finland, right? The Panthers have a couple of people from Finland, and Montreal have a few of them. Carolina have another team, have a lot of Finland. Tampa Bay have more Russia, and we have our friend Oleg follow Russia. Follow the Tampa Bay. So, like great people around the chat. So, thank you. I'm talking about Richard. I'm talking about Oleg. He just showed up. Here we go.
Oh, look at that.
Oleg back in the house this morning. Hold on, Michael. Yamo. Because this is Oleg. He was looking for you, Yamo. So I said to Yamo, someone looking for you. I'm not remember who asked me this question. Now I connect now. Oleg asked her where Yamo is. So everybody is in the chat. They can talk each other now.
So interesting storyline there because, obviously the captain is Finnish in Florida. Another really good Finnish player who started very well. And we both predicted a big year for this guy. It's Jesse Puijarvi. So the story on Saturday night was that Conor McDavid busts out for a hat trick, which is his 10th of his career. But the other guy that scores again is Jesse Puijarvi. I mean, I think this guy's going to have a big time year. Like, he just looks happy and confident. He's really impossible to move, and he's such a fast skater. And I think he gets a goal and an assist. So,
But
2 assists, 3 points.
yeah,
Peter,
so that game was all about McDavid, to be honest. So you understand what you tried to
sure.
tell. Like McDavid was on fire that game.
Yeah, he's
Happy
always going
like
to be on
any
fire.
like I never see Conor McDavid celebrate after each goal.
Right.
He was unbelievable. I think Bouchard, you're right about this. He take also advantage to play with Tressel. And
Sure.
it's funny because if you follow the Oilers, they practice all training camp. Hyman, McDavid, and Bouchard. The season start, they move Tressel from the second line, Michael, up. They drop down Hyman with RNH, and then they put Yamamoto there. So they completely changed in the beginning of the year, and then that's take advantage for Bouchard to play with 2 great hockey players. But then at the same time, he did. And we saw it during the training camp anyway. He was looking great,
so
and
good.
you're so right about that.
The Armo's comment, he's so funny. He's like a cartoon character. The guy's always smiling. He's got a lot of he's the opposite of Patrick Laine.
But they are that kind of people. They are, right? You Kokanemi is another guy smile all the time usually. They are who they are, the Finland people in Finland and in shot. But you're right. He's going to take advantage of this. Not surprised he get a 60 to 80 point next season.
I think he might. Like, he looks like, I mean, this is the best move, like non-move, by not moving this guy. Ken Holland has really done a great job with that. The guy's still quiet as Yamamoto. I'm really worried about him.
You know, he did. I've been honest with you. He did well against Colorado, Calgary. He got hit by Anderson. Was upset about him, but I see intensity there. He was not like last season, so it's great to see him that way. He take 2 chances. He could score. He did not score, but he looking good so far. But I think one thing Mike Smith was great again, and the defensive Michael we was a little bit curious about, or maybe they would struggle without Larson. I'll be honest with you, Cody, CC, and Duncan Keith, they are great. And then Bouchard have an amazing, great first 2 games so far with the Oilers. Bouchard involved with the offensive side.
Oh, yeah.
Carry on the puck. And then we have Dyson Barry, Donald Nurse. I predict on my prediction, Edmonton first in the West Division, and I maybe got right on that one. They're looking great so far, so we have to give them, big Vancouver 4-3 and 5-2, the Calgary Flames.
I think the Evan Bouchard maturation, I knew it was going to be either him or Broberg. Bouchard's always carried himself with confidence. He's a big, thick guy. Like, he's always been really strong. His skating's like, just a maybe average or above average, but his shot is big and he's confident with the puck. And now you see a guy's like 21, 22, and he's ready for the NHL. And the next guy that'll impact this lineup, I think, like that will be Broberg. He might need a little bit of time, but like, these are great additions just through development. Like, it's pretty impressive. And
they look good anyway. That game, they're looking good. Their defense looking great. Coco is there also. Russell, they need him. So they have a good defensive on that side over there. They're dead. I think one is quiet over there. It's a Warren for Jen. On the flip side, Derek Ryan have a great start with the Oilers. They score again his own team, his old team. But again, Derek Ryan played solid during a training camp, and he show again. You have right now, Michael, 87.8 on face-off right now and 2 games. But again, I think it's a great action. We was concerned about that all the move what Ken Olin did not do, or he did. And at the end of the day, right now, he is great until Mike Smith and Koskinen does not fall apart. That will be the only location I'm worried about them. But otherwise, that team is a little bit better what we think they are.
Yeah, Mike Smith, and you go back and look at his numbers last year, they're actually kind of incredible. If the guy wasn't 40 years old, you would look at his numbers and go, this is one of the best goalies in the league. And I kind of realized that when I looked him back. But, we also watch him game to game, and he makes mistakes too, but he handles the puck real well. He's very confident. He's a big-time leader on this team.
Yep.
Just to mention, Drouin gets his 2nd goal in the losing effort against the Rangers, but the Canadians, unfortunately, are 0-3. So he's done okay, but overall, team not playing great. I don't know if this is just a bit of a hangover from the playoffs. They don't have Shea Weber or Carey Price or Mike Hoffman, who is a big offseason acquisition. We know they don't have Kotkaniemi, but he's not doing great. So I don't know. Something's got to change here. I think they went through prolonged stretches last year, and they've played 3 games already. So yeah, I guess that's normal. Only Detroit.
The reason why it's going on over there is Montreal. Yeah, the good thing and the bad thing. First of all, they played 2 solid games on the 3, and people screaming. They lost 2-1 against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. They lost 2-1 against the Rangers. The third goal is an empty net.
Yeah.
Right? Now, they have a flat game, Michael. On the 82 game schedule, you go to have about 5 to 6 games at least. You're going to be flat. Like, you don't show up and they're completely. It's just happening against a team where they are not good or they're not going to be good. And that's pushed everything the wrong way. First of all, I see Jonathan Drouin solid. I see a Jake Allen 2.05 goal against Michael in 2 games. Why you cannot complain? People complain about the defensive. They gave only 4 goals on 5 versus 5. The rest are on power play or an empty net. So at the end of the day, it's just they cannot score. The power play is bad, and they cannot score. They are only 1 goal per game. So I don't want to give all the negative. Try to get the underside of this, the positive. I think what you nail it is two players they are missing for me in my eyes. It's Mike Hoffman and Joan Edmondson. That's the 2 players right now they are missing. Really, they need them at that moment. Jake Allen does a great job right now as a goaltender, and I don't have no problem. But the Mike Hoffman will stabilize a little bit better the lines and also the power play. So I don't say Mike Hoffman is going to score 55 goals here. I think at that moment they struggle with the line, the chemistry, and the confidence they don't have right now, and the belief in themselves, and the pressure they got, and everybody is panicking right now, where I feel like it's not panicking. It's just a time right now to reset everything. Big weeks this week, 3 big games. San Jose tomorrow, Carolina Thursday, Detroit Saturday. They have to win, in my eyes. They have a possibility to win 2 of the 3 games. And Mike Hoffman is going to be maybe possible back Tuesday or Thursday. I'll be surprised what they're going to do with Aaron Brooks. Sami Niku right now back on the ice. One Norlander will be healed completely, going to be returned in the SHL. That's what all the prediction, all what's going on with Montreal Canadiens. And then I want to announce today, Marc Bergevin is not going to return with the Montreal Canadiens. He's going to sign a contract with the Los Angeles Kings. So expect my video is going to be out today. That's my prediction of what I expect from Marc Bergevin. This is the end of Marc Bergevin with the Montreal Canadiens. So this is a primer. This is what I'm thinking since Saturday. And I think I'm going to put this public afternoon with my video.
Rob Blank ain't going anywhere.
No, he's going to be he's going to be an associate assistant GM for the Los Angeles Kings.
Why?
I expect that.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be really weird. I mean, Pat Brisson's out here. Luc Robitaille's out here. I get that connection, and they hang out. You know, Pat and
it's a connection. Yeah, absolutely. Right now, the name you just did it. Luc Robitaille with him.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, Pat Brisson's one of his better friends.
I don't say he's going to be GM. My point to you, Michael, is he would bring experience, and he knows. Honestly, you have to give him credit, Michael. He's not a bad GM in
no, he's not at all. I don't think he'll
one. So I think he will bring more satisfied. Another one. It's now Michael and the GM department on the hockey business operation, hockey business for the hockey. They bring now 2-3 people around the GM now. It's not like he was only one anymore. You have the guy for the salary cap. You have the guy, and I think, you know what I mean? Like, remember Mike Bergevin, I have like Melembe, have the guy for the Buffalo now, you know him. Pretty long year for the Buffalo Sabres, and now with Carolina Hurricanes. Oh my God. So anyway, he bring 2-3 people around him as a stand GM. So that's when my point behind this, I expect him to be that kind of role with the Los Angeles Kings. Yeah, where I think, you know what I mean? It's great to work for the California.
Yeah, I doubt that's going to happen. I mean, Montreal, or not that he's obviously capable, but Rob Blake has done a phenomenal job with this team. I was looking at last night. Did you know they also have Brock Faber as one of their prospects? Every time I look deep, I'm like, they got another prospect, and we're seeing the maturation of that team, and they've already got a pretty tight brain trust there. Like, it'll be interesting. I can't see him fitting into that, but never know. I mean, Pat's out here, and so is Luke, so you never know. It's possible. All right, so let's take a quick look at a couple of things.
I think a lot of people talk about this. Maybe you can.
Yeah, I know. We're talking so much, so we don't answer them. So Michael said, or Yarmo said, Michael, how is Nick Leddy? Nick Leddy's been very good, Yarmo. If you look at how Detroit's done, first of all, they're 1-0-1. They haven't really lost a game yet. They lost the overtime to Tampa Bay. That was a little bit of a barn burner. The one player we were concerned about coming out of camp was Zadina, and he gets on the board in both games. So he's got 2 points in 2 games, goal and assist. The goaltending's been okay. Like the first game, the D was kind of bad, but Leddy's played real well with Seider. So Moritz Seider, I think everybody's raving about this guy, and he's so patient with the puck. He's so big. If you get in tight with him, he's mean, and he can help out. And Nick Leddy is a big part of this. Like his veteran presence is really there. On the flip side, Nick Leddy is Nick Leddy. And what I mean by that is he does make some decisions with the puck in transition that can hurt you. So you've got to watch that a little bit. But overall, very high-end player. Definitely top 4 on most teams. Having Leddy, Seider, and Roenick on your top 4 is really good. The guy who's not been good is DeKaiser, in my opinion. Like he's good and then he's not. Like he's like, I don't know. It's a weird one for me. I'm not a huge fan. But the guy that's who absolutely blowing our minds is Lucas Raymond. I mean, his patience with the puck, his skill on the power play, this is a big reason why they're able to win these first 2 games. And they look like they had Vancouver on the ropes in that game. It was kind of interesting. So I don't know where they go, but it's fun to watch them at least get better. So that I think that's the most important thing. Team that's not doing well up here is Chicago. 0-2-1. And we know they made a lot of offseason moves, including getting Seth Jones, but the goaltending's looked a little shaky. And I think they're probably a D away from being really solid. I mean, I like the Kirby Dach gets his second goal, so that's positive for them. But Marc-Andre Fleury being 0-2 is not a good thing for Chicago.
Yeah.
And he's let in 10 goals so far?
Yeah, I don't know how many goals he gave, but the Chicago won the worst team right now in the NHL.
Yeah, it's early, obviously, but
at that moment, 0-2-1 over there at that moment, and Fleury get removed against Pittsburgh Penguins after the first period. They gave 4 goals in 11 minutes over there, so there was one of the upset about that. They did bad again at the beginning of the first game. Also, he gave again 3 goals at the beginning of the game. So it's a Fleury get all the criticize for the people, but at the end of the day, it's not surprise. The defensive is really bad over there. I would not be surprised in the next 3 weeks, they fire the coach, Jeremy Quellington. What I predict is going to be the first coach fire in NHL. His defensive side of the Chicago Blackhawks never changed for the last 3 years since he's a coach over there. And that would be the reason, maybe, because the expectations are high at that moment in Chicago. So with Fleury, Zed Jones just pay a big contract with it. So I would not be surprised this news get out at some point if the team does not change, or I don't know, they start with 0-6-2 or 1-9-1, something like that. So that's what I expect from that part over there for them. But again, like I mentioned, 4 goals at 11-25, and it was the end of the night for Fleury after the 20 minutes, and he paid the price. But again, it's a system where they have really struggled on the defensive side, unfortunately, for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he might be gone because I don't like the way they play. They play like between him and Sheldon Keefe, these are both younger coaches, but they play this old fire wagon style of hockey, and that just creates opportunity for the other team. And the NHL, if you give a team opportunities, they're going to beat you. Like they're going to finish this, and we're seeing like such lopsided scores. I don't like the style, but they do have talent. They got lots of talent. DeBrincat looks really good. Kane looks really good. Kubalik looks really good. Doc looks really good. Like, they've got talent. I haven't seen too much from Seth Jones, and I think this might be the MO of Seth Jones, where he's kind of like reserved.
It's the reverse of what Montreal's doing right now. So the offensive Chicago is still doing not bad, right? And the defensive is bad right now. Montreal right now, they don't score, but they don't give a lot of goal on the 5 versus 5. So that's the reverse of what's going on with the Chicago and the Montreal Canadiens. And same thing with the Islanders right now. I believe Winnipeg lost the first 2 games. They are my 4th team at that moment with Nashville. They are a bad start since the beginning of the year.
Yep. Oleg was talking about the news out of Russia, and you'd mentioned this before. Fedorov, Gonchar, Nabokov, Zhamnov, and Kovalchuk all involved with their Russian Olympic team?
Yep. So Zhamnov is going to be the head coach of the Tienery for Beijing, China 2022. Kovalchuk become the general manager, and they add as assistant coach Fedorov, Gonchar, and so Nepogov as a goaltender. But it will be interesting what they're going to add more. But that's the old player playing in NHL. Now they all work with the KHL, most of them. So that's what happened about that. And that's what the news get out of Tim Richard this morning about that.
Nabokov's 2007 son is a pretty good player, by the way. Plays for the San Jose Junior Sharks. We'll be scouting them. I'm going to go to Denver this weekend to scout Tier 1 Elite Tournament. So I think we might get a chance to see the 14s. Definitely going to see. No, actually, it's 15 and 16. So I don't think I'll see the 14s this weekend. Johnny Golden joined us, by the way, Pierre. I don't know who Lyndon McCallum is, but I don't know if you're talking about me, but I'm a scout with the Everett Silvertips. And the Everett Silvertips, Pierre, are 4-0.
Yeah, he's talking about the McCallum play for the Anderson Silver Knight in the American Hockey League.
I misunderstood this. Oh, yeah, for Anderson.
He played in WHL season.
Right.
That's
Lyndon McCallum. Got it. Yeah. Sorry. I was trying to place the name.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Also, Adam mentioned not the good news for Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov left the game, the last game. They played against the Washingtons during the 3rd period, I believe. And this morning, the Tampa Bay Lightning announced Kucherov is going to be reevaluated today. It's not looking good. They maybe expect a surgery on his case. And now we're going to hear the news afternoon, and going to see how long he's going to be out and what is all about. We don't know where is the injury. We don't know is the wrist, the arm, the legs. We don't know yet. But it will be interesting to see that. We know he was missing a full year last season.
And most of the year before.
Surgery, I believe so.
Yeah. Well, he had the hip injury. Do you have a shoulder injury too? I can't remember.
It was a hip. I believe it was a hip surgery,
I
believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Wrong. No, I think you're right.
How many goals I predict? You can jump on that one before that. But how many goals you predict for OV this season? I was setting me 44 before the season start, and he have already 3 goals and 2 games. So interesting. People always expect maybe him a little bit more, slowly more, and without Backstrom, he's just a machine. He just never stopped. 161 now to reach the 99. So it'll be interesting about that. But my prediction this year is 44.
CHL players must be 2 in the Olympic team. I don't think there's going to be any CHL players in the Olympic team. I think you might see Michkov, but this is going to be Ovechkin. This is going to be all the Russian guys. Kaprizov. They're going to have a pretty bang-up team. They'll probably have the best 2 goalies. They'll probably have Vasilevsky and then Semenov. What's his name? Samsonov. If Samsonov's back, is he still injured? I think he's still hurt, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's not about the panic mode yet. I don't see this. It's just since 95-96, Montreal started with 0-3. 95-96, they got 0-4-0, Michael, and they fired Serge Chavard and Jacques Demers by the Ronald Corey, and they welcomed one of the worst GM in history in Montreal. The peanut.
It would be a big tournament. Let's hope the NHL players come. I think they'll come. I mean, there's obviously the COVID nonsense, and then I think this is in China, so there might be some challenges with that. I would worry a little bit about that. It's still early, I agree, but they got to get on the board, the Montreal Canadiens. Everything will be
So
all right.
Frank answer about this 20 game, Michael. In any sport, you always reevaluate your team after a quarter of season. So at a quarter of the season, and football is 4 game, and baseball is 40 game. In our case, and this basketball is 20 game. That's why you're going to see what is missing, what they look like, everything like that. So the great comment from Frank about that. The quarter season give you an indication a bit more what their expectation for the team, what they need to change, blah blah blah. That's what he said.
But some team, if you go 0-5 and 2-5-3, you could probably survive. But if they go 0-5 or 0-6, then someone's getting fired. If everything will be all right, the Olympic tournament will be awesome. I agree. It's going to be an absolutely stacked year. Like, it'll be crazy with the NHL players back in. The Olympics have been pretty boring all over summer and winter games the last couple of years. So I think hockey can have the potential to make it exciting, at least interesting again. I didn't hear this about Mark Bergevin going to the Major League Baseball. I can't imagine that. Like, where's he going to go? There's guys that do that for a living. Why would Mark Bergevin? Any news on Eichel? It's really quiet on this front.
I mean, they have some rumor now is getting out of Vegas because they are going to missing Pacioretty Stone now. So the rumors start over. Last couple of days ago, the Colorado was involved with that rumor. Minnesota, Anaheim, of course, they always been there. Buffalo mentioned they don't want to keep retaining any money for the contract for Eichel. The only team I believe, and if you go in the history of the Colorado Avalanche, and that's why I was shocked a little bit. Colorado Avalanche never signed a UFA or a big trade mega. And it's right. Talk about Taylor Hall example. Or those guys, the players, the Avalanche don't go those kind of players. So I would be really shocked the Colorado get on that one. I believe they have the material to trade. But again, I don't know if Buffalo, but I don't see Joe Sakic does it. I really believe one thing can do this right now is the Vegas Golden Knight. But again, I think it could be an involved and maybe with another team, a three-way trade. But otherwise, it's nothing else. From what's going on, I feel like as anyway at the end of the day, the team get him. They have a problem. He's going to be out for a month with a surgery, whatever he take the.
Right.
So it's going to be maybe pushing with all the little bit rumor we heard or getting a little bit louder now. I believe this is going to be all the way to the end of his injury when he's going to be more reestablished or more recovery from that or heal from that injury. So that's why I believe he's going to be traded at that moment. Because while you're going to trade Jack Eichel, he's not going to play for weeks, and you may be losing 2 players, example like Roddy Smith or Marchessault, example, right? And you're not going to have nobody to pick their spot. So this is going to be on the hold on my book at that moment.
Speaking of Buffalo, they've looked pretty good, Pierre. Like they've been playing very good hockey. Like it's going to be interesting. I don't think they're going to have a great record, but so far they've had a good start. Again, we saw
they took advantage of 2 things. Montreal was flat completely, it's an excuse. They play solid. To be honest with you, have to give credit first of all. Then they play the Arizona, where it was an American Hockey League game. That game was terrible to watching. It was just not too game. Arizona, they're looking worse. But again, you have to give credit for Granado. Obviously, they lost 2 good players. Cassim Stad is going to be weekly now, out for a couple of weeks, and the defenseman. So it's going to be missing another 2 big pieces of the puzzle. But one is going to be like, you have 2 W, you have to give this that. But you have to look about who they play again and the way they play. The second game, it was not a good game, to be honest with you. So
2-1. I mean, the good news here is that this player, I can't pronounce his name, Jamelka. It's his first NHL game. He gets a win, and he only lets in 1 goal, and then he loses in the shootout. So that's pretty good for them because the guy. I mean, who knows what this guy is going to be like, right? Like, and this is early.
We'll see what after 10, 15 game, is it another Lenskinen from last season or, a Vanecek or something like that. But at the end of the day, don't expect too much. He's play again all the players in front of him, and most of them are
They're a
not great.
mess.
So, the miracle is not going to happening about that one over there.
No,
But
there'll be no
then,
miracles. I think we're looking for anything that's not going to be 9-1.
yeah.
All right. Adam thinks that he'll be in Vegas. I guess we'll see. Cody Glass, and I haven't heard very much so far about him in Nashville.
First of all, I will say to you, Matthew Dash to Montreal. He's going to be on Nation about his name will be there. The big name is Patrick Roy. Molson have two conversations private a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago with Josh Molson and Patrick Roy. They was talking together. On the flip side, Kelly said that Matthews 2 goals tonight on CDB. Austin Matthews back tonight on the ice, first game of the year. Again, the New York Rangers. So it'll be interesting if Matthews looking great for what we heard this morning during the practice during the weekend. So expect a big night for Austin Matthews, and it's going to be a great addition for the Toronto Maple Leafs, where they are 2-1-0 at that moment with not many goals. So 2 again Montreal, 3 again Ottawa, and only 2, I believe. So they have about only 6 goals. Only an average of 2 per game at that moment. So one match is going to be back. I think they will stabilize the line. And we have to mention this. William Nylander continues what he did during the playoff, maybe the best player at that moment for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the biggest question for them is what are you going to do with Morgan Rielly? That would be something they're going to carry on all year long. They lost also already Marinchek now for a week. And they have to bring the goaltender University of Toronto as a backup goaltender Saturday, Alex Bouchard, because of the salary cap problem. So it was funny to see that during the weekend. So I just want to carry on with what the people said about that.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of, I mean, we expected Michael Hutchison, but they don't even have the room to do that. I mean, listen, if there was no salary cap, or the salary cap was 125 million, Toronto would be fine. I mean, this is a team that spends above the cap or to the cap, and they still make $60 million. So they're doing okay. I wanted to mention Michael Bunting looks very good. Michael Bunting gets a goal and assist in their last game. He seemed to be fitting in well. He was getting opportunities in the other games. I think this acquisition is actually going to work out quite good. I think Nick Ritchie looks super slow, but they don't get him for his speed. He can score from right.
Right now, Bunting does not play with the top 6, right? So he played on the third line. Ritchie played on the first line. That's what they are like now. He played with Kerfoot. Bunting played with Kerfoot, a case. Whether this satisfied the third line over there. Ritchie played with Marner at that moment. But again, that's a line they're going to verify to have to get better. But Bunting, we'll see what he's going to do about that, about this.
He's been playing with Tavares, I thought. But he is Tavares. But
they're moving those players over there, because now you put Matthews back in the lineup over there.
Yeah. But I don't know. He's looked good to me. He goes to the net. He finds scoring areas. Players like this are really hard to find. I can't believe, first of all, that Arizona dumped him. They didn't sign him. He's very cheap. He scored big time for them last year. And it's kind of surprising to me. This guy's always been a goal scorer. He scored in Don Mills, and he played with Max Domi. I don't know if you know that, in the GTHL. And he's always scored. Everywhere he's gone, he's put up numbers, including the AHL. Corey Perry moves on the first line. That's interesting.
Not really a good start from Corey Perry over there. I watched him probably play, and you can see Corey Perry have the play on the 4th line. He was start on the 3rd line. They put him down on the 4th line as a right wing. So it'll be interesting about that. Cooper was trying to find some solution with their game. They lost 6-2, and then after that, they was not looking good against Detroit. But it will be interesting. He's going to stay there as the first line
for a little. He'll get a chance, but he's not going to keep doing that all year. Spencer Knight gets the game tomorrow for the Panthers, and Yarmo, yes. Arizona is going to finish last. I mean, there's a big difference between how bad Arizona is versus every other team.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be really hope, and nobody's going to, it's a lot of drama over there. First of all, they don't know where they're going to play next season. Arena. That's the biggest problem they have over there. They try to play at the Arizona State place for the upcoming season. So if not, they are maybe looking for Houston or San Antonio. So it's really, really not looking good over there. about that team, and it will be interesting what's going to be the next development over there. But the hope for them is not to get destroyed every night. It's going to be a long night, and what are you going to do with Phil Kessel? That's the biggest question over there. Can they trade Jacob Chinron at some point? So two players they will have to follow up for the next, or Keller. But again, they rebuild this from the bottom with a 13th draft next year and 11 after that. So it'll be interesting. They have I think they have 9 pick in the first 2 rounds next year.
Pierre, they have 3 first-round picks and 5 second-round picks.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I think you see their game plan. One player that actually looks pretty good is Andrew Ladd. Like, he scored in that last game, and he's actually, I thought he was done. I didn't think he was going to play hockey at all. But he's at least taking advantage of this. Like, doesn't look bad at all. Like, he's a pretty decent, he looks in shape too, Pierre. He looks he's very fit. But yeah, 3 first-round picks here, 5 so far in the second round. I think the players they'll keep will be Chychrun. They'll keep Keller. Not much else. They really like Dylan Guenther, and they think that he's going to be a big-time player in the NHL at some point. And if they get like a Shane Wright in that mix, then that really changes their outlook. And we know it's a pretty deep draft coming up. So no matter what, they should do pretty well with this. They like Nick Schmaltz, but not much else going on there. Like, everyone else looks pretty rough. Actually, Strawman looked okay. He looked all right. But in the end, there's not much there. I think that they'll find a home for Strawman, but they'll retain some salary and be a deadline move and pick up another draft pick, because he's actually looked pretty decent for them. But the rest of this is a mess. This is just not a good setup. I wonder if the Czech goalie starts every game. Carter Hutton was so bad. It was pretty horrible. All right. We had the comment from someone that I wanted to say hello to. Joseph Lanham said Buffalo always starts the season well, then they fall apart. Good morning, Joseph. And we had our friend Eagle Fang. He's taking the Leafs at home tonight. And then Caden Jenkins is here this morning. So good morning, Caden. All right. So tonight.
But they always said to you, say it's Champion Hockey League. That's why you want to let you know.
It's Canadian Hockey League.
No, they have a Champion Hockey League in the European. Summer. I think that's what he's talking about, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Yarmo bring this with Stefan about they have a cup during the summer or something.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Champion Hockey League. I could be wrong. Maybe Yarmo or someone can bring that. You forget also, Michael Rosenblatt said this. I'm surprised. They're going to start Spencer Knight, get the game tomorrow again at Tampa Bay Lightning. So really surprised me about that one over there. Wow. Shocker.
Why is it a shocker?
Bobrovsky doing well, and is the reason why they are there right now, and why to put a rookie, again, one of the best team in NHL, where he can get out this with 4 or 5 goals against and losing. And I think for me, but now the only thing I believe is this part. I thought for me they will go. The only way I believe that this doesn't exist in Florida, like in Montreal or Toronto. You always try to protect your rookie at home. Makes sense? Like, you always start your rookie or your backup number 2 on the road. You don't want to get him at home. Now they play Thursday against Colorado, so he's going to be back with Bobrovsky. But after that, they go Saturday and Flyers at Philadelphia. In my book, I thought they were going to get with him only Saturday next week if Bobrovsky win and he consists. Now he's going to be with Knight. Now he's going to be Bobrovsky Thursday, and then we'll see what happens. But surprised me they get the young kids right there. But again, it's CANVA. He knows what he's doing. But just a little bit surprised me. I thought Sergei Bobrovsky would start that game. How about that?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a thing. It's like a tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. We saw this in the summer with like some of the Swedish teams.
Yeah, Yamo brought up that because we asked a couple of players why they play right now. Remember, you asked this, and then by the way, talking about players play in Europe, Simon Edvinsson scored his first goal in SHL.
Oh, good. Oh man, I think this is just going to be another great story. He's got so much potential. He looks great so far.
Yep.
If you're a Detroit
fan, about 13 minutes, you can go with all the game he has going on tonight, or you can talk about what happens on the weekend if you have other news around the league, around the NHL. With injuries, Michael, is maybe the biggest problem I can see at that moment. It's all its friend,
Kucherov, Paxaretti, Mark Stone. Like, we're seeing injuries mount already. And Kakko. That's not good news for the Rangers, Kakko. They really need this guy to kind of break out.
It's a general in the my concern is a general around the league at that moment. A lot of big team missing big piece of the puzzle. Now Kishara with Tampa Bay example, Malkin Crosby with Pittsburgh, Montreal, Weber, Price, Edmondson, Hoffman. Right now you have a lot of team. Vancouver, Brooke Balzer over there, and you can go like this for many other team. Around the league, where it's a very concern about why they are so out like that. And my Rangers lost Capo this weekend. Strom was out. McKinnon did not play any game yet, and so the list is continues to get more and more.
Yeah, it's kind of not great for the NHL, for fans. We hope that guys stay healthy because we want to see them play. Ristolainen's also hurt. I didn't know that for Philadelphia.
So again,
Rasmus.
Yeah, Ristolainen, he did not play 0 games so far.
Yeah.
In NHL this season. About that one over there. Plus also a couple of players from the Buffalo. Like I said, Casey Middlestat is out. Funny, Colorado returned New Hook. Play in American Hockey League.
Yeah,
I don't know, it was just to give him a little bit more time. Columbus sent back the Russian kid, Chesnikov, but he's back now with the team, happening this weekend. So that's another thing happening about that one over. The Buffalo Sabres reject the Colorado Avalanche trade offer.
Was this for Eichel?
It is doing well, Yamo, with the Philadelphia. I'm sure that was the trade for Eichel. That surprised me. But again,
yeah, that's interesting. So they definitely have an issue, in my opinion, at second line center. I don't see Kadri working out. He's always been a bit of a distraction for them. I wonder what they offered.
Yeah, 2 things I want to mention to you, Michael, also is I got a news right now. Mike Hoffman is on the ice right now, played the left of Adam Brooks and Brendan Gallagher. So okay, Mike Hoffman good. With Adam Brooks and Brendan Gallagher make out a line. By the way, we know, Michael, maybe not know, but Dylan Larkin is hurt. So we don't know what's going on with him. No news about the Dylan Larkin since he got a suspension. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening with him. And Jake Evans is not at the camp. He's not at the practice this morning. And the same thing happening to Owen Tippett. He's not on the practice with the Florida Panthers this morning. That's what I get. I tried to get that trade, but I don't see yet nowhere that trade for what Yamo mentioned about that one over there.
I mean, you've got to think that would have to involve Bo Byram.
I believe they have they have the material to do that.
Yeah.
Jake Allen is not at practice this morning, by the way.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So games tonight. Last night we mentioned Chris Tierney had 2 goals in Ottawa's win. Ottawa's looked pretty good, and we haven't really even seen Tkachuk yet. So it's kind of interesting.
Pretty amazing for me. We did the live stream yesterday, so it was fun to see that. But I think overall, Michael is Tierney have 2 goals, but one, he hit the pants, he scored. But my point to you is Connor Brown, 3 assists yesterday. Right. Is 100 in NHL, pretty solid. He's looking great. Ottawa's looking great around, but I think we don't mention enough the performance again of Gustafsson. He looked legit a lot. His square movement is there. He calm in front of the net. Gustafsson, he was looking good. If you get his stat, you have a great stat for him.
The guy's like a 930 or 940 save percentage or something crazy.
Yeah, but his record he's like 12-3-1 or something like that. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, going back to last year. If you look at his record last year, he was very good.
Yeah, so that's my point behind that one over there. So,
yeah, 8-6-1. .934 save percentage and 214 goals against. And I think he played great last year. This guy was formerly in Pittsburgh and I think somewhere else. Like, he's been around the block a little bit, shockingly, but I think people are going to regret giving up on this guy. He's a real good goaltending prospect.
Yeah, and also for the Montreal Canadiens, Michael, Sami Niku looked like he took the spot at Chris Whiteman with Kulak this morning.
Is Weidman hurt?
No, he just did not play the level about that one over there. Toffoli is back with Suzuki Caulfield, and Lehkonen play now with Perreault and Armia, and Paquette is watching.
Got it. All right, so tonight we have the Toronto Maple Leafs versus New York Rangers. Rangers are kind of getting their stride back. This might be an opportunity actually for Kravtsov to get back in the lineup. It'll be interesting to see if they dress him. We know he requested to be traded because they wanted to send him to the AHL, but now you've got Capo, what's his name? Capo. I can never remember. He's hurt. So this would be the ideal chance to put Kravtsov in. Does he get in or not? Because he played really well last year. Vitaly Kravtsov was a highly regarded player.
He's not there right now.
He's still out, right? But then you look like if he had just stuck around and gone to the AHL, he'd probably be up right now.
Yeah, but he refused to go.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So we know he requested to be traded because he didn't want to go to the AHL. Now Capo's hurt, and we don't know how long he's going to be out. He could have been
missing Strome.
They're missing Ryan Strome.
Yeah,
and that's probably worse off for them because I think he's very, very underrated.
They bring what happened? They bring Hunt and Mickey, and then they recall from the Halifax must add during the weekend another players because they cannot because now Kako is out at that moment, so that would be his first game. I don't know if he'll be dressed up for them tonight, but it'll be interesting about that. Not very impressed when they play against Montreal Canadiens. Today, he was not great. I was a little bit worried about them. He didn't play. Panarin was really quiet against Montreal Canadiens. I don't know what's going on with the New York Rangers, but really not a great. I'm sorry again.
They're 1-1-1. Georgiev played terrible in his game. I think if Shesterkin's healthy, they're okay. But Georgiev the loss they had was like he was just bad against Washington. It's like, why would you start Georgiev against Washington? Like, Shesterkin's the guy. Like, why would you sacrifice this other goalie? Like, he played terrible for them. I think that was the story. I mean, he had 5 goals against and an .815 save percentage.
But again, if you look at the 3 game, they not play at the level they should play. That's my point.
But that's the only loss they have. They're 1-1-1.
Yeah, but he play again. My point, if you look, they play right now, they not play what they should, the level they should play. That's my point. Whatever they was 3-0-0, Toronto is 2-1. They don't only score 6 goals. My point is like Panarin and Zibanejad, they not connect yet, play the level they should play. Lafreniere have a solid game again, and Adam Fox is real. Adam Fox is unbelievable. That's my point. It's just again, without them, they could be 0-3.
That's what I was saying.
Still the game against the Montreal Canadiens. That's my point here. I think Rangers not saying not going to be good. I just said they not play the level they should play.
Well, what I was saying was that Shesterkin, if he's in net, they're fine. The other goalie, not very good. So I think that was the more behind. They didn't look good in that game, but it was.
I know he was sick.
Who?
Just again.
I know that, but I'm saying Georgiev in the Washington game they lost was terrible.
Yeah, but again, that's the reason he was not there.
Yeah. All right. So, and I was talking about Kako, who has a -1 and no points in 3 games, and now he's hurt. So that's why I was saying if Kravtsov had reported to the AHL, they would be bringing him back up right now, but now he's out of the mix, so he misses out. It's kind of a silly move. And then Kaapo Kakinen's the goalie in Minnesota. I think he'll be a pretty decent goalie for them, but Cam Talbot's looked pretty good for them again. All right, tonight, let's wrap up with the games to expect tonight. We know we got Rangers and Maple Leafs. It's the debut of Austin Matthews. The Seattle Kraken are 1-1-1, and they play the 0-0-1 Flyers. We know Ristolainen's out for them, and they got to get a much better game in the nets from Carter Hart if he's going to start tonight. Anaheim Ducks have looked pretty decent. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs or anything, but they've actually looked pretty good. They're 1-0 against the Flames, who are 0-1-1. So it's really early, Pierre, but we definitely, there's a couple of good players for Anaheim to watch. Like Trevor Zegras looks really good. Maxime Comtois looks really good. And Mason Katavish had a phenomenal first game.
Well, I think the player there is looking the better. The best one is Silverberg. Silverberg already 3 points for them. He was the player making the big strength for them since the beginning of the season, because he had a bad year last season over there for Silverberg. So it's great to see him over there. Listen, they beat the Winnipeg Jet, right, the first game, and they took advantage of the Winnipeg Jet have a really bad start. Lebach struggled a lot. I'm not worried about them, but at the end of the day, Gibson was hurt, so we'll see what's going on with him. He did not show up the second game because of his injury. I don't know if he's daily. Did not know about that. But Stolarz, that second game, it was unbelievable, making big save that game, honestly.
Big time, 43
shots. It's not his fault because they lost, honestly. But again, it's a team. It's fun to watch. A lot of rookie over there. And they're going to get, but again, the parity in NHL, guys, is so close. 14 game Saturday, and look at the score. Most of them, at least 9 or 10, it's a 1 goal to 2 goal overall, and some are 2 goal is because it's an empty net. So that gives you an idea how the parity, Michael, is so hard to win in NHL.
For sure,
it's just not easy.
Okay, and then the final game tonight. St. Louis looked very good in their first game. They had a big time win that first game, so we'll see if they continue to play that well. Tonight should be a win for them. The Coyotes, we know, are terrible. It'll be interesting to see if they go back to the Czech goalie. Does the Czech goalie get his second NHL start?
Yeah, St. Louis beat the Colorado Avalanche without Lestakag and McKinnon. So that's the first one there. David Barreau have 2 goals on that game. But again, at the end of the day, you didn't mention, but Blake Coleman now play his first game with the Calgary Flames tonight after his suspension. So that's a welcome back for him. I think Calgary is going to win at home. They're not looking bad again in Montreal. Just in Montreal, they are just another step over everybody else. It will be interesting to watching that. But again, for the St. Louis Blues, they look like better. And I'm worried about the Dallas Star. I didn't see a team. I don't know. Last night, I watched the game yesterday, full game, and I don't know. They're not looking great. They lost 3-1 against Boston. They, Seguin, Ben, and has a lot of push, but it's not great over there, Michael. I'm a bit worried about this. It's great to see Ryan Sutter. Michael, Ryan Sutter, he looked like 32 years old. Like this guy is square, is shape. I don't know what the world they are thinking about him. I don't know. Parise understand. But Ryan Sutter, guy, is the second best defenseman over there. Is just, and he drive all the way in front of the net. The guy is like unbelievable at his age, Michael, at 37 years old, 38. Just great to see him to play that level. This guy can play over 40 years old. I think you mute, by the way, we may be talking about you.
I have to go, Pierre. So have a great day, everybody. I'll leave you on if you want.
All right. So I'll just give up everybody else. You have something else. Semi Blair hit someone over there. Good question, Valeo, about if we don't make the playoff, which team will be dropped most likely in your opinions? They're not going to make the playoff, Valeo, at the end of the day. I don't think so. They're going to be a team is going to be in the race at some point, but to make the playoff, I don't think so. Toronto, Florida, Tampa are too good about that. Boston show did not stop until something happened, and then Montreal struggled. So they're going to compete with Montreal and Ottawa as the position number 5 on my eyes at that moment. So I would be shocked if they can make it, but they all compete with now Montreal, Ottawa for 5 and 6 for that division. over there. Now you have always injury could happen. A major problem with Boston, example, is an injury major like Bergeron, Marchand, Pasternak. Where after that, it's not great. It was great to see Jake DeBrusk score a goal over there. I agree, Yamo, about Kako over there. Did not reach his full about that. Sharks, Eric Carlson, one of the best player in the world, OMG. Not anymore. He's been a great defenseman the year with the Ottawa Senators. I mean, he carried on for that team for 3 years. Since that, never been the Eric Carlson since he's a San Jose. His first year was pretty good, but after that, he's not. Can he come back? I don't know. But I don't know. I did not see this for the last 2 years over there. The Star almost came back, but too late for them. But the Star looked bad. I have to agree with the coach here. The Purple Dallas feel like they were the one play defense. They have nothing. Yeah, and again, like I don't say they are not. They just like I don't know that they're missing something there. A really quiet game for Hands yesterday. Pavelski not play with great player around them. Kuryanov don't show me a lot. After Lendl, Eskinen, and Sutter, you can see they miss and Klemberg. And then Kudubin was looking good. Talking about John Klember, the Dallas Star and John Klember are agreed for 8 years. The Klember looking for a $60 million in more. So 8 and 8 or 7.5. The Dallas Star looking more for $55 million. So 8 at $7 million. That's maybe more with the Dallas. So the disagreement between both of them right now is this. We know Klember is going to be a UFA. If John Klember go on UFA, guys, he's going to get that kind of money everywhere. Yeah, too many teams looking for a defenseman like him. We know he's 29 years old, 8 year. That could run them at 37 years old. But I think with a 7-year UFA, he get 36. And that would be me changing about maybe to get $8 million at that level. He's get 56. But it would be interesting about what happening with him, like Morgan Riley for the upcoming season. Absolutely right, really know about that. Me too. I agree with you about this. Where do you leave? I don't know. You talk about me or I leave me in Florida. Awesome, Kaden Jenkins. Don't forget, Kaden Jenkins, you are part of the Fantasy Hockey ESPN with the Hockey National Show. Don't forget to check your update every day. Check your team. Everybody check your team. Update your team. Prepare your lineup. That's take about 3 minutes to do it every single day. Your participation, the league, make the league better and more fun. And you can talk trash to other people and about that league. Just kidding. Coach, yes, Eagle. All right. The line are a bit out of the sort right now in Dallas with Robinson out and injury on defense. They will come around very soon. They have mother trait that we needed. Yes, about this and our tap, the missing Robinson chance. But again, Pavelski did not have a too great player with him. Peterson, they tried to, he have a good game, but yesterday was not all around number 40. But again, their depth is different. Clendening, not too bad. But again, it's my point overall, geez, I just go around the circle right now. My point was not impressed by the best player for me yesterday was Radulov compared to Ben and Seguin on my book. Radulov create a couple of opportunities, but that line had to carry on that team more and better. They need more points from them. That's maybe what I was trying to say this morning about that game. I don't know if I can do it, Coach. All right, no problem. Seguin, Ben, Pavelski does not need to lead that way. Here we go. Yamo, absolutely right about that. Yep, that's what I'm taking. They will. They will about this. And my point yesterday, and have a quiet. It will happen during the year, right? I'm not complaining about that team. I did not see a team with a lot of intensity or emotion, or they was split by just the motion of the game. That's it. They will just follow up back and forth. Seguin fight at the beginning, hit a couple of players, but could have been was selling in front of the net, honestly. But again, that game was only 3-2. It could shifting to one side to another side. Eagle, I believe he said the power play was not strong. But Gustafsson make a couple of great saves about that. Good afternoon, Canadian gentlemen. Before we leave, we just want to mention, don't forget to click on the likes. That'd be awesome. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be back at 5 o'clock today. And no show tonight. Coach Frenchy is working tonight. I have a speech to do. I'm a speaker for one organization tonight, so I'm going to be out. Unfortunately for tonight, I'll be back tomorrow night for the live stream for the Montreal Canadiens for 5 o'clock Eastern time every day, Monday to Friday with In Our Tap. We're talking about prediction, fantasy, news, everything like that. So I can wait to see you afternoon, Monday at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Where is Johnny Gaudreau playing now? Kelly, he still play with the Calgary Flames. Johnny Hockey play with the Calgary Flames. Great year last season with them. And this year, Manuel was playing not too bad for Calgary against the Edmonton. Obviously, Edmonton was the best team on the ice Saturday night for the rivalities between Edmonton and the Calgary Flames. Yep, here we go. And not up answer the question. Thanks again for watching the Hockey National Show. I'm going to disappear. Maybe Michael is not going to turn off. I don't know if he will hear me right now or not. I would text him. If I disappear, I don't know what happened here. But I just want to mention, have an amazing, great, blessing day. Don't forget my video around 4 o'clock today. My prediction about Marc Bergevin. And would be interesting if I'm going to be right or wrong again. I'm wrong, but we never know what could happen about that one today. Not a problem, Kelly. Butter Monkey, thanks for joining us. We are leaving. Hopefully an amazing, great day. Butter Monkey, look forward to see you afternoon at 5 p.m. And from Michael Rosenblatt, Butter Monkey, it's going to be Spencer night between the pipes. I'll be surprised about that news. But again, I think they are going to be fine. It will be a really big game. The game of the week, guys, tomorrow night, Tampa Bay versus the Florida Panthers is the game to watch if you have a chance to get this game during the time Montreal play. I think that will be the big game of the week in my eyes for sure. Yep, that's it, Butter Monkey. Thank you so much, everybody. Have an amazing, great afternoon about that. Exactly, Joe Levo also was there.